It's my very great pleasure to introduce the next highlight of our evening, which is our scholar speaker. So would you please join me in welcoming Mr. Xilin Jiang, China.
Good evening, everyone. It's an honor to be here. And as a Chinese scholar, I've only been speaking proper English for 2 years. So I guess it's important that I make a disclaimer before I start. I use Twitter to study English. So if there's anything I say which is inappropriate, feel free to blame Donald Trump. So as a scholar from a new constituency called China, I'm not familiar with anything about Oxford life. However, I do feel the warm welcome of the UK before I came here. I'm a Chinese, and I'm studying science, and I'm using a Huawei phone. And they still issued me a visa, surprisingly. Well, after arriving here, the new language, new culture, and an even new set of dress code has been really challenging. I understand what is casual, what is business. But when people tell me the dress code tonight is business casual, it's pretty confusing. It's like a veggie chicken or dairy-free milk, which I found in Tesco. So, since everything is so challenging, the very natural way is to form a small circle with other Chinese. And that didn't work out, because when a group of Chinese stick together, we're easily spotted, and people are gonna blame us for not engaging other people. And that's when I became jealous of Americans. When a group of... you all know what I mean. When a group of Americans stick together, they look really diverse. So I decided I should engage more. So my first try was meet and mingle. And I got my most unique Rhodes experience, which is doing self-introduction for 50 times in a row. And of course, I got the most important Oxford social skills, which is keep the conversation going with someone who look over your shoulder for someone else to talk to. And of course, carefully cover the fact that I forgot the name of the person I talked to right after their self-introduction. Despite all this awkwardness, I was exposed to such a diverse culture. We have Mabiria from Zimbabwe, Cello from Germany, Maureen from New Zealand. I understand none of them, though I really enjoyed them. That was not supposed to be a joke, but anyway. We celebrated Ramadan and Lunar New Year in the same hall. And of course, on the 4th Thursday of November, we celebrate North American Thanksgiving without protests from Canadian scholars. You guys are always nice. So as one of the thousands of Chinese students overseas, there's just so much that we want to learn. I was impressed by the difference that we made through town hall discussion. I took notes on all of the brilliant insight of different Rhodes Forum. I learned so much from all of the scholars on the trips to Patagonia, Palestine, Israel, and of course China trip. And as a Chinese student who is studying science, I'm supposed to be introverted and quiet, which is probably true. But you know what? Since there's so much I could learn, being a listener and observer has never been such a pleasant experience here. So the engagement in Rhodes House has led me to another level of interaction with scholars who are from different backgrounds. I'm from a tiny city in China which has approximately 9 million people. And some of you tell me that Oxford is really crowded. I used to celebrate my birthday in Kentucky Fried Chicken when I was a kid. And some of you tell me that that's junk food, that's very unhealthy. And I mean, you should really try it, it's pretty addictive. You know, we are brought to the same place, share the same label, but we might view the same thing in a very different way. It's like, although we share the dislike of fish and chips, but we might have very different views of Kentucky Fried Chicken. It's not because that's a different piece of chicken, it's because that the different contexts that are associated with that piece of chicken make us think it differently. But don't get me wrong, I'm not saying that difference is everything. But there are people out there who are making use of these differences. There are people who claim that we need to make walls to separate each other because we're different. I mean, I'm from China. I know a lot about wars. It just doesn't work that way. In the end, it's going to be a tourist attraction full of foreigners, and we're going to go there hiking every weekend. Great. What these people fail to realize is how similar we are, despite our differences. A young person from slum chasing his American dream has the same goal as a migrant worker in China who's working hard to feed his family. A mother whose kid got malaria is as heartbroken as a son and daughter who is searching cure for their parents' dementia. An activist fighting Gandhi's fight in India has the same dream as a follower of Nelson Mandela in South Africa. We're all from different backgrounds, but it doesn't matter if you're brought up eating tomato salad or if you're lucky enough, like me, who could afford Kentucky Fried Chicken. There are something that bring us together: our sympathy for the weak, our love for our homeland, and our determination to serve others. And that's what this scholarship is about, to bring people like us who look so different but share the same dream together and work for a better world. I finally come to the last but core part, which is saying thank you. I want to say thank you to China for working so hard in the past few decades to open to the world, both economically and culturally, making it possible for Chinese like me to be here and engaging in the international community. I want to say thank you to Fudan University, where I went to college, for not only providing us rigorous academic training, but keep telling us that there is a world out there which is different, and you need to be open-minded for it. I want to say thank you to all of the trustees for working so hard to make the scholarship global, giving me this life-changing 2 years. I want to say thank you to all of the Rhodes House staff. Thank you, Elizabeth. I always remember that you were serving coffee to us when we were talking with senior scholars, and that was the best leadership lesson I've ever got. Thank you, Nadia, our best event organizer. I think if we were having a panel discussion over the dinner table now, you could still host it perfectly. And thank you, Mary. Where's Mary? Oh, Mary. I have to confess that I've attended quite a lot of physically challenging events here in Oxford, and every time I put you as my emergency contact. Lastly, it's serious. Lastly, I did that. Lastly, a huge thank you to all of you, my fellow Rhodes Scholars. Thank you for your patience to listen to me when I'm struggling to express my ideas in my broken English. Thank you for your kindness to my awkwardness. No matter how awkward I am, with you guys, I never feel embarrassed. Thank you for your courage and passion that has inspired me so much and will keep inspiring me for my whole life from here. May the world be with you. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Xilin. Xilin, you are a very hard act to follow. And you have certainly made me rethink my views on Kentucky Fried Chicken. But you have been such an inspiring part of this community, and I really appreciated that fabulous message to our community. And our evening is almost over, but I did want to close us out with two final toasts. The first, I would very much like us to toast our wonderful board chair, our going down dinner speaker, an extraordinary servant leader, somebody that I have learned so much from, a real inspiration for us all. Please join me in toasting Sir John Hood. Sir John. Sir John, to Sir John. And the second toast is for someone who has done an absolutely remarkable job over the past 4 years, developing the Character Service Leadership Program, being an amazing mentor an inspiration with her strategic insights, her deep commitment to inclusion and empowerment in all of the ways in which she works with scholars. Her leadership and her wisdom and her fabulous Jamaican boom shakalaka have been immensely inspiring. And so I would like to invite Nadia forward. Nadia, if you would please come forward. We have a little bouquet for you here. And then I would like all of you. This is for you. Nadia, I've learned so much from you. It has been such a privilege and a joy to share this journey. Thank you for everything you have done for scholars. I know that you will continue to be such an important part of this community, but we wish you, as you go down, a wonderful journey ahead, great adventures, great success, as we do for all of our scholars. Please join me in toasting Nadia. To Nadia. Thank you so much for being here. Have a lovely rest of your evening.